Very.
Hey, it's Alinka, and I'm going to show you what I've done for the sample challenge. So the heart of my setup is Native Instruments Maschine, and that's what I use as my sampler. The first thing I did was just load the samples to see what we were working with. And then I created this drum pattern. And a few variations. Just very straightforward 808 and 909 pattern. And then I like to have a lot of melodic elements to my tracks and kind of layer them out. So when we're limited to one synth and one plugin pattern, I really wanted to make sure that part of the melody came from the samples that we were given. So I took this loop of the bass synth and I used the sampler to cut it into 32 slices. Which allowed me then to play it in different notes. And with the note repeat function, you can create an ARP effect. And so I created this pattern. And I used the same method to create the other patterns. Just with a slightly different setting. And I ended up with these three. And after that, I did something similar with this vocal, which I cut into 8 slices. And once I had these, I could go into keyboard mode and record another melody off of there. So I recorded this. And also just a simple to add layers melodically to the track. And that kind of gave me the foundation to the track. And then I was able to use this bird sound as a fill sound with transitions in the track. And I also took the same vocal and I played it in my keyboard to change the pitch. So that kind of set the tone for the track, and I knew where I wanted to go next, and so this is what we got. The next thing I did was create another bass line with my Moog Sub 37, and it's just a simple ARP. That's my favorite synth. It's a monster. These are actually the 2 pieces of gear that I use on almost every track. So that's the bass line. And then I used Alchemy, which is a plugin synth that comes with Logic, and it's incredible. There's like so many amazing sounds with this synth. It always sounds really good. I use that on a lot of tracks as well. And so I created a pad with this. And that's very like eerie and haunting sounding. So I wanted to add another layer to complement that. And so I created this. And this is actually just the clap from the samples. with a bit of a compressor on it, and replica from Native Instruments, which is a delay. And that created this background for the break. Once I had those and I had my pitched vocal, I wanted the vocal to kind of have the same vibe, so I used Space Designer Reverb, which comes with Logic, and the replica delay again, just in different settings to mess with the vocals. So this is the dry vocal. Open up your eyes. And this is with the effects. So it fits with that whole eerie theme where we're going. And I use the same plugins throughout the track because they work really well and they kind of fit together. On the bird sound, which I used for my transitions, I use Crystallizer from Sound Toys, which is really great for getting super weird sounds out of your samples. And I also use just this tape delay from Logic. I also reverse the sample to create a rise. And I use different lengths of the same sample throughout the track with the same effects. I also wanted to create some movement with the drums because we're limited in sounds, and so I took this hi-hat, which is just this open hat, and added replica to create the shuffle. And then on my kick, I just use the basic bus compressor. Just to add that oomph. Make it a bit fatter. And I also used Space Designer to create a bit of, and replica to create the same kind of sound with this vocal sample. Yeah, so it just made them sound bigger in the track. And I wanted to keep it kind of simple, effect-wise, just to show what you can do with very little. And it was really interesting to do this challenge and not have access to all my sounds. I think it brought a lot of ideas of what I could do with the different samples to life. And yeah, and so I'm really not like a super technical producer. I'm more about getting my ideas out the fastest. I don't have a lot of time to sit there and figure things out. And so I love Maschine, and because it's instant. The second that you plug sounds in, you can really just start creating and building ideas. And yeah, so I hope you enjoyed the track, and thank you for tuning in.